The Subaru Forester hasn't changed much in the past 25 years. As you can see here, it's still the boxy, simple and utilitarian SUV it once was all those years ago. As a bit of trivia, it was also one of the first SUVs available on the Australian marketplace when it was new in 1997. How's that? What we have here today is a 2023 Subaru Forester IS, which is a top-of-the-range, non-hybrid petrol version. It costs around $50,000 drive away. So in this day and age, is the Subaru Forester still relevant? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. We're going to jump in the car, open every door, open the bonnet, open the boot, to see whether this product is still relevant in 2023. Let's take a look at the Subaru Forester. The 2023 Subaru Forester 2.5 IS starts from around $46,340 before on-roads and costs, or give or take 50 grand drive away. Our test car is a non-hybrid model. That means it's powered by a naturally aspirated 2.5 litre flat-4 engine with 136 kilowatts of power and 239 Nm of torque. Power is manipulated by a constantly variable transmission, or CVT, and sent to all four wheels by the brand's signature and permanent all-wheel drive system. Before we jump inside, I want to highlight one thing about the Subaru Forester's design. You'll notice it's got a really high roofline, and it hasn't succumbed to that design trend where most modern SUVs have a swoopy cut-back roof. What it means is the back of this car is really easy and practical to use. So let's jump in now and find out what it's like. Now on the inside, you can see what I mean about that high roofline. I've got heaps of headroom here, and the overall cabin is really spacious in general. I'm about 6 feet tall, and this is my seating position. As you can see, I can stretch my legs out up front. I've got excellent knee room and heaps of upper body room as well. Another point I'll mention is this fantastic seat base. It has a really high hip point, which makes it easy to get in and out of the car. If you're slightly older with frail joints or had a hip replacement or anything of that like, this car is really fantastic for habitability and ingress and egress. What else have we got back here? Well, we've got 2 rear air vents, 2 USB Type A ports, a pair of mat pockets, and also a fold-down cup holder as well. One last point I'll mention too is this back seat is fantastic for child seats. So if you've got young kids in rearward facing, forward facing, or booster seats, this cabin is excellent for the young parent. Over in the first row, the traditional theme from the outside extends into the cabin as well. Directly in front of me, I've got a regular set of dials. I've also got an 8-inch infotainment system and a smaller screen above that. Both the infotainment screen and the gauge cluster do feel a bit old school compared to some of the other cars in the class, which have much larger screens and digital instrument clusters. In saying that though, there are plenty of buttons around, there's good air conditioning controls, so it's still a really usable and functional cabin despite being a bit old hat. This car is also the 2.5 litre IS model, which is the flagship in the range. That means it has some nice luxury touch points too, like an opening glass sunroof, leather heated seats, and a Harman Kardon premium stereo. And if you're wondering what that dimly lit red light is on the dashboard, it's part of the vehicle's driver monitoring system. The Subaru Forester has a really advanced driver assist system that has a camera that scans your face and gets to know who you are. What it does is when you're driving and you turn away, the car will blink and tell you to keep your eyes on the road and stay focused. I know this works because the car caught me out rubbernecking a really cool classic car I saw on the motorway, which involved me turning my head like this. So rest assured, it'll keep you in check. To be honest, it's pretty good in here, it's well built and it's very functional, however the design could do with an update. Coming as standard on 2.5 litre Forester IS models is an electric tailgate, which when fully open reveals a boot space of about 500 litres. It's nice and wide and nice and tall as well, meaning trips to IKEA, throwing the kids' bikes in, or simply folding the seats creates a rather large space. And if you do fold the second row, you have about 1700 litres of storage space back here as well. Something else I don't like is this parcel shelf. It's a little bit clumsy, and it's got this annoying barrier at the back that always falls down, so yeah, they could really improve that. But things that I do like include some hooks and some levers to fold the rear seats remotely. And one last excellent thing is that underneath this boot floor, we've got a full-size spare. Thumbs up from me. Jumping behind the wheel of a Subaru Forester is actually quite refreshing. Whereas plenty of modern SUVs have really compressed glass houses, this Subaru Forester has a really tall and high roofline. It means there's big windows everywhere, enabling good visibility out of the car and good visibility down and out of the car. If you frequent areas where there's plenty of kids, consider it schools, daycares, or live in an apartment block, this car has some great passive safety that will keep your eyes where they need to be. In terms of the powertrain, this 2.5 litre naturally aspirated engine definitely gets the job done just fine. I know you're going to want a turbo version like the previous generation, but sadly Subaru don't make that anymore. And this engine is plenty fine for the job. When you put your foot down, it's actually quite responsive. It makes a good amount of power, and it just does the job perfectly fine whilst giving you decent fuel economy as well. In terms of the transmission, we've got a CVT automatic. I know a lot of people don't like CVTs, but Subaru have genuinely perfected it. I think it's better than a regular dual clutch auto. It's no longer the old flary thing before. Again, it's responsive, it acts quick to input, and it even does stepped fake gear changes too to make it feel like a regular torque converter auto. So the engine's good and the transmission is good. What about the way it drives? Well, the ride handling in this car is great too. It's a little bit busy on high speed stuff, so out in the country, but around town is pretty darn good. It straddles comfort over overall handling, which again is a good thing for a family SUV, but if you do take it on some faster roads, it's definitely confidence inspiring in those environments. Something else I like about the car too is the permanent all-wheel drive system. You will only find this sort of all-wheel drive in a Subaru. It's not an on-demand system, it's always on. So if the weather suddenly goes raining, like it has been today, you can have the surety of all-wheel drive to keep you nice and in check. I've been driving this car over lots of rainy conditions over the past week or so. One Saturday was really quite bad, and I found the car to be trustworthy and really enjoyable to use in adverse conditions. Again, all-wheel drive is not for everyone. It does cost you more fuel, but there is an inherent safety quality that can't be overlooked. The only other thing I don't like about this car is the fact it's a little bit noisy. When you cold start the engine, turning it on for the first time during the day, it is really loud. And if you listen to, I'll accelerate with a bit of gumption, you do get a bit of engine noise in the cabin. But honestly, that's as bad as it gets. In terms of acting like a genuine family SUV, the Forester is a great choice. So what do we think of the Subaru Forester? Well, its exterior design is not going to impress your friends, nor is the interior presentation either. But if we park all that nonsense, there's a really good family SUV here. The second row is massive, great for kids in support seats and adults alike, and the boot is huge too, meaning this car is the ideal road trip partner for a young family. Underneath all of that, you've got the confidence of all-wheel drive and really safe handling too, meaning it's a great choice for anyone for that matter. If you've got something to say about the Subaru Forester or have a general question, let us know in the comments section below. And please, as usual, like and subscribe to our channel to be kept up to date with the latest and greatest content from Drive, or visit drive.com.au to find the recent review on the Subaru Forester 2.5 IS.